Welcome to our 2020 annual statewide financial aid workshop. We would like to start by saying thanks. Thank you to everyone here today. We appreciate your taking the time to be here, and we certainly appreciate all that you do to help your students. The statewide financial aid workshop series is a partnership effort between the California Association of Student Financial Aid Administrators, the California Community Colleges Student Financial Aid Administrators Association, and the California Student Aid Commission. We also appreciate the resources provided by the California Community College Chancellor's Office. Here is the agenda for today's workshop. We will start by providing you some updates from the Commission, followed by an overview of the financial aid programs administered by the Student Aid Commission. We will then go over how high schools, or anyone who works with high school students, can best assist those students. We will give you some information about the California DREAM Act application and how to determine which students are eligible to complete it. Finally, we will leave you with some resources that we hope you may find helpful.
Hello, and thank you for being part of this event today. My name is Marlene Garcia, and I am the Executive Director of the California Student Aid Commission. On behalf of the Commission, we are very pleased to be able to welcome you to this statewide financial aid workshop. Whether you have partnered with the Commission for a long time or you are a new financial aid administrator, we hope you find the information provided here today to be relevant and helpful. The California Student Aid Commission was created in 1955 with a mission to make education beyond high school financially accessible to all Californians. Since its creation, our higher education institutions have been serving a more diverse population over time, representing a multitude of races, genders, first-generation students, young parents, and more. To continue CSAC's mission of accessibility and affordability today, we must come together to build a California that invests in education opportunity for all, especially for our underserved populations, and fosters a higher quality of social and economic life for its communities. This is an exciting and busy time at the Commission. We are hard at work on the update to our Cal Grant delivery system. We are implementing a number of new programs that you will learn about today. And we are working with our stakeholders to explore what the next iteration of Cal Grants will look like. I know that you are here today because you share a mutual passion in helping and empowering students and their families to navigate and take advantage of financial aid. This is a true collaborative effort, so let me take this opportunity to thank you for all that you do. We are grateful to have you here today and appreciate your continued partnership with the California Student Aid Commission.
The Commission will continue to serve students and institutions during this difficult time as we understand the importance of supporting students through their pursuit of higher education. The 2020 COVID-19 survey asked questions from a pool of students who submitted a free application for Federal Student Aid or California DREAM Act application in the most recent submission cycle. This included 2 student groups, one graduating class of 2020 high school seniors and 2 students currently enrolled in higher education in California from California Community College, CSU, UC, private nonprofit, private for-profit. Here are some of the highlighted results of the survey. Over 70% of current students lost some or all of their sources of income as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Almost half of all students had their living arrangements change. A quarter of students dropped one or more courses in their spring 2020 college term. Over 80% of current students have either changed some aspect of their plans for fall 2020 or are still uncertain of their plans. 15% of existing students were still unsure about where they were going to attend college in the fall. As you can see, and no doubt know, these are very uncertain times for students. As California continues to navigate this global pandemic, the Commission will update this webpage with guidance and resources related to COVID-19. The public may access the webpage, and please share this widely among your colleagues and the students you serve. The Commission will continue to serve students and institutions during this difficult time as we understand the importance of supporting students through their pursuit of higher education. Affording college means more than just paying for tuition. a student must also pay for food, as well as books and supplies, housing, transportation, and other expenses. The 2018-2019 Student Expenses and Resources Survey was able to gain information from thousands of students about their experience paying for food while attending college. Student Expenses and Resources Survey was administered between fall 2018 and spring 2019. All CSU and UC institutions participated in the survey, while California community colleges, non-profit private institutions, and private for-profit colleges were sampled by region. The Commission conducted the survey on a web-based survey platform, and students were given 4 weeks to complete it. A total of 15,419 students were counted as respondents, about a 10% response rate, at 110 institutions across 5 segments. Here at the Commission, we continue to work on the new grant delivery system modernization project, which will replace Commission's existing web grant system. The new system, when in place, will be a much more robust and user-friendly system and will include a number of enhancements. The initial phase has been launched, and you may be aware that both the Web Grants for Students portal and the CHAFI application page have been updated. Subsequent updates are forthcoming, including a new and improved California Dream Act application page. Next, we will touch on Cal Grant reform items being considered. Please note that there has been no past legislation at this point. These are simply items that are being considered. They include consolidating Cal Grant A, B, and C awards of the Cal Grant program and the Middle Class Scholarship program into one program, removing or reducing grade point average, high school completion, and similar eligibility and access barriers in the current Cal Grant program, changing the model of the Cal Grant program to focus on the total cost of attendance, including maintaining full coverage of tuition and system-wide fees for public college and university students, reinstating a formula for an annual adjustment to the maximum Cal Grant award for students who attend private non-profit institutions, supporting additional Cal Grant eligibility for students taking summer coursework. Although we are best known for the Cal Grant, the largest program that the Commission administers, we also offer students financial assistance for higher education through the Middle Class Scholarship, CHAFE Grant for Foster Youth, Law Enforcement Personnel Dependents Grant, the California Military Department GI Bill Award Program, and recently created Golden State Teacher Grant Program. Students enrolled at a UC or CSU whose income exceeds the limits for Cal Grant A or B will automatically be considered for the Middle Class Scholarship if they applied on time with the free application for Federal Student Aid or the California Dream Act application. In order to be eligible, students must be enrolled at least half-time in their first undergraduate program, meaning they cannot have previously earned a bachelor's degree. Only students who have less than 40% of their UC or CSU fees covered by grants and scholarships are eligible to receive the Middle Class Scholarship. Additionally, students must have income of $184,000 or less and assets of $184,000 or less. Remember, students are also considered for Middle Class Scholarship upon successfully completing an on-time free application for Federal Student Aid or CA Dream Act application. No additional application is needed. Sometimes students do not apply for aid because they believe their family makes too much money to get an award, but that is not always the case. It is important that we encourage all students to apply for financial aid early so that they get consideration for all programs. The CHAFE Grant is available to current and former foster youth who were dependent or wards of the court, living in foster care, for at least 1 day between the ages of 16 to 18. Students need to file a financial aid application every year. It is important to note that the March 2 deadline does not apply for the CHAFE Grant program. However, students should still file their financial aid applications prior to March 2 to be considered for Cal Grant. Students can receive both Cal Grant and CHAFE Grant in the same academic year. Assists current and former foster youth that were dependents or wards of the court, living in foster care, for at least 1 day between the ages of 16 and 18 are eligible. The application process for the CHAFE Grant requires that students complete either the free application for Federal Student Aid or the California Dream Act every year. Students must complete the CHAFE Grant application as well, but only one time. The California Department of Social Services, or CDSS, foster youth status will be electronically verified within a month of submitting both the financial aid application and the CHAFE applications. This verification is also a one-time requirement. The Law Enforcement Personnel Dependents Grant is for dependents and spouses of peace officers and firefighters who were either permanently disabled or passed away while in the line of duty. The LEPD program provides need-based educational grants to dependents and spouses of California designated peace officers, firefighters, and Department of Corrections employees with demonstrated financial need. The parent must have died in the line of duty or have been 100% disabled as a direct result of an accident or injury in the line of duty. The program, although called a grant, acts as a scholarship and is equal in award amounts to the Cal Grant. The California Military Department GI Bill Award Program, formerly the California National Guard Education Assistance Award Program, is a state-funded grant for up to 1,000 service members in the California Military Department or as many participants as the annual budget will allow. This program authorizes the California Student Aid Commission to make payments to accepted eligible program participants. Participants can receive up to the amount of the Cal Grant Award for attending the University of California or the California State University, up to the Cal Grant B Award for attending a community college, or up to the University of California Cal Grant A amount for attending a non-public institution. Please visit our website to learn more about each program. Please contact our institutional support team if you have additional questions about any or the specialized program we administer. The Student Success Completion Grant became effective in fall 2018. It is awarded to California community college students who collect the Cal Grant and are full-time. Students are required to enroll in 12 or more units, meet both college and federal satisfactory academic standards, and be exempt from non-resident tuition. The award amount is $649 minus $2,000 per semester, 24 to 30 units maximum, based on state funding. In order to participate, students must meet the following requirements: attend school full-time, receive either Cal Grant, B or C, maintain a minimum of 2.00 cumulative GPA and have sufficient unmet financial need to receive the Student Success Completion Grant. Students should direct their questions about this program to any California Community College website. The California College Promise Grant, formerly called the Board of Governors Fee Waiver, is available to students who are California residents attending California community colleges. The per-unit enrollment fees, currently $46 per unit, are waived for eligible students. Students can contact the Financial Aid Office at the community college for additional information or check their local community college website. If you would like additional information about any of the programs administered by the Student Aid Commission, please visit our website to learn more about each program. Additionally, you can contact us by phone or email. Let's start talking about the Cal Grant program administered by the Student Aid Commission. The path to obtaining the Cal Grant begins with completing a financial aid application, either a free application for federal student aid or a California DREAM Act application. Please remember that in the state of California we have two primary financial aid applications, and they are equally important. Please make it a habit to always mention the California DREAM Act application anytime you mention the free application for federal student aid. To be eligible for Cal Grant consideration, students must have two components: a completed financial application, in this case either the free application for federal student aid or the California DREAM Act application, and a GPA submitted and matched in the commission system. For high school seniors, they can complete their financial aid application beginning October 1st. It is critical that the March 2nd deadline is met for both the application and the GPA upload. This will give students full consideration for the Cal Grant as early as November. There are two deadlines when it comes to grant awarding. The first is the Cal Grant priority filing deadline of March 2nd. This deadline ensures that all students, high school, college and returning adult college students, can be processed for all award types and award cycles. The second deadline is known as the September 2nd Community College deadline. This deadline is reserved for students that are attending a California community college. Unlike the March deadline, The Commission only processes for the competitive Cal Grant awards. There is an exception for students that have been identified as foster youth. These students can be considered for entitlement awards during this deadline. To be awarded and paid the Cal Grant Award, students must attend Cal Grant eligible college. It is a common misconception among students that the Cal Grant can be used at any college as long as it is located in the state of California. While it is true that all public colleges, California community colleges, CSUs and UCs, are eligible, not all private colleges meet our set of standards. Students who wish to be considered for the Cal Grant Award should list Cal Grant eligible college on their financial aid application, which can be found on the Commission's website. Students can search by college name, by city, or by segment. In order to receive notice of their Cal Grant Award, the college must be on our eligible colleges list, so please remind your students to check. There are two types of Cal Grants, entitlement and competitive. While the actual Cal Grant itself is the same, as an entitlement Cal Grant B pays the same as a competitive Cal Grant B, the student cohort being considered for the award is different. Here's the only thing you need to remember: entitlement Cal Grants are guaranteed for students who meet eligibility requirements. Competitive Cal Grants are also great, but much more difficult to get. Why are entitlement Cal Grants easier to get? Basically, if a student meets the requirements, they are entitled to receive the Cal Grant. The state does not put a limit on the number of entitlement Cal Grants which can be awarded, nor the total dollar amount that can be dispersed to students meeting the basic eligibility requirements. In short, if you meet the requirements, you are entitled to the Cal Grant. Here is what should matter the most to you: high school graduates and last year's graduates are eligible for entitlement Cal Grants, meaning that the easiest time for them to be awarded the Cal Grant is when they graduate from high school, or the year after that. So what is a competitive award? A competitive award is a Cal Grant that is awarded based on a scoring matrix. Unlike entitlement awards, competitive awards are limited. Generally speaking, any student who is not awarded the Cal Grant Entitlement Award will be considered for a Cal Grant Competitive Award. But let's do the math. Nearly 300,000 students are considered for 41,000 competitive awards. As you can see, it's very difficult to get a competitive award under the best of circumstance. Naturally, you don't need to remember all these details. Just remember that helping to position your students to start college right after high school will ensure their best opportunity for financial aid. Is an entitlement Cal Grant better than a competitive Cal Grant? The grant itself is exactly the same, so an entitlement Cal Grant B is exactly the same as a competitive Cal Grant B. The difference is in how difficult it is to get a competitive award. A high school senior, or past year graduate with a new GPA uploaded, who meets the requirements will automatically get an entitlement Cal Grant. As we just mentioned, consideration for a competitive Cal Grants puts a student in a pool with as many as 300,000 other potential awardees for only 41,000 awards, making it much more difficult to get. That being said, for those who are awarded a competitive Cal Grant, there is absolutely no difference in the award itself. Cal Grant A awards target lower to middle incomes, have a minimum GPA requirement of 3.0, and provides assistance with tuition and fees for associate or bachelor degree programs that are at least 2 years in duration. Here we see the maximum dollar amounts per year at the different institutional segments. Cal Grant A awards for students attending a California community college are put on Community College Reserve for up to 2 years, and a third year can be requested by students via their student portal. There is one very important exception to that. Students with dependent children, a new award that we will discuss in a moment, may be eligible for up to a maximum $6,024 access award at a community college with Cal Grant A. Cal Grant B awards have a minimum GPA requirement of 2.0 and have lower income and asset requirements than the Cal Grant A. This award is for lower income students and provides them with a living allowance, called an access award, as well as assistance with tuition and fees. This grant operates a little differently because in the first year, the vast majority of students will receive only the $1,656 access award portion of the grant, with the award for tuition and fees kicking in the second, third and fourth year. For the Cal Grant B, the coursework must be at least 1 academic year in length and may be a certificate or degree program. Once again, students with dependent children may be eligible for up to a $6,024 access award with the Cal Grant B. Current and former foster youth students, that is a person whose dependency was established or continued by the court on or after the date on which the person reached 13 years of age, are eligible to receive Cal Grant B High School Entitlement Award. They are given consideration as long as they have not yet reached 26 years of age as of July 1st of the initial award year and submit a qualifying high school GPA or test score, regardless of the date of high school graduation or the equivalent. The maximum eligibility has been increased from 4 years to 8 years. If you have a student who is a current or former foster youth, please ensure that they indicate that on their application and communicate it to whatever college they plan on attending. If a student is not eligible for the Cal Grant A or B, they could still be considered for the Cal Grant C if they enroll in an occupational or technical program of at least 4 months in length. Students still must meet all income and asset requirements and have financial need, as we discussed earlier. Unlike Cal Grant A or B, Cal Grant C has no GPA submission requirement. Students need to attend Cal Grant eligible institution that offers a recognized program. Once students are deemed financially eligible for the Cal Grant C, we ask for additional information via the Cal Grant C supplement form because students are ranked for eligibility based on certain factors. Having said that, virtually all eligible Cal Grant C students are awarded. For Cal Grant C, students with dependent children may be eligible for up to $4,000 maximum yearly access award. New legislation allows for Cal Grant awarded students with dependent children to receive a new, and significantly larger, Cal Grant Access Award. Students at California community colleges, California state universities and University of California campuses with dependent children under 18 years of age for whom they provide more than 50% support can qualify. Eligibility is initially determined by the dependent children question on the free application for federal student aid and the California DREAM Act application. Do you now have, or will you have children who will receive more than half of their support from you? The new Access Award pays up to $6,000 for qualifying Cal Grant A and $6,024 for Cal Grant B recipients, or up to $4,000 for eligible Cal Grant C recipients. One significant change, of course, is that there is no automatic community college reserved for students with dependent children receiving the Cal Grant A Access Award at a community college. That means that for the first time a student with the Cal Grant A could actually be paid at a community college if they qualified for this award. The new Golden State Teacher Grant provides up to $20,000 in financial aid to eligible students enrolled in a Commission on Teacher Credentialing approved teacher preparation program within an accredited California institution of higher education on or after January 1, 2020. If awarded a Golden State Teacher Grant of $20,000, students must commit to teaching in a high-need field at a priority school as determined by the Commission on Teacher Credentialing and the California Department of Education. Please contact the Student Aid Commission via the email shown here if you would like additional information. While there are 3 different types of Cal Grants students can receive, it is important to note that students can only receive one type of grant at any given time, A, B, or C. When students apply for Cal Grant, they are not applying specifically for just the Cal Grant A or just the Cal Grant B, they are being considered for all 3 types of Cal Grants as well as the middle class scholarship. In the event that students meet the requirements for multiple grants, the grant deemed most beneficial is applied and students will be notified of the Cal Grant awarded. Students who are not awarded the Cal Grant after graduating high school still have the opportunity to receive an entitlement award. For students at a community college, they may receive the Cal Grant if they transfer to an eligible 4-year institution. For undocumented students, the California DREAM Act application is one-stop shopping for the majority of financial aid they can receive for college. Let's talk about something we're going to call the no Cal Grant zone. Both the student's GPA and the family income and assets are used to determine Cal Grant eligibility. It's important for students to know how their GPA and family income are used in consideration for the Cal Grant and how they can be impacted by both. Remember that Cal Grant A and Cal Grant B have different GPA requirements and different income ceilings. We don't want students to get caught in the middle of these requirements, that is to say with family income too high for the Cal Grant B, but a GPA too low for the Cal Grant A. In that case, they would not be eligible for any Cal Grant because they would be in the no Cal Grant zone. We recommend that you make students and their families aware of both the Cal Grant GPA requirements and the corresponding income ceilings during the student's freshman year. This information can be found on the Commission's website. The income and assets of a student or a student's family is one of the eligibility factors for receiving the Cal Grant. These are the amounts for the 2021 to 2022 academic year. This information can be found on the Commission website and is updated each year. We highly recommend that you make the most up-to-date version available to high school students and their parents each year, beginning with your freshman class. As we said, both the student's GPA and the family income and assets are used to determine Cal Grant eligibility. Let's take a look at some examples to see if these students would qualify for the Cal Grant. Kayla has a 3.1 GPA, a family size of 4 and a total income of $67,000. Looking at the income ceilings, would Kayla qualify for the Cal Grant? Based on what we know, the answer is yes. While the family income exceeds the Cal Grant B ceiling for a family of 4, Kayla would still qualify for the Cal Grant A because her GPA is 3.1, over the minimum of a 3.0 for Cal Grant A. Now let's look at Robert. Does he qualify for the Cal Grant? Robert has a 2.87 GPA, a family size of 6 and a family income of $99,000 a year. Even though the income falls under the ceiling for the Cal Grant A, Robert's GPA does not meet the minimum 3.0 requirement for the Cal Grant A, so Robert is not eligible. Unfortunately, thousands of students a year face this same situation. Finally, we come to Fatima. She has a 3.7 GPA, a family size of 4 and an income of $49,000. Does she qualify for the Cal Grant? The answer is yes. In fact, based on the income and the high GPA, Fatima qualifies for both Cal Grant A and Cal Grant B. This system will award her the most beneficial Cal Grant based on where she is planning to attend college and what program she will be studying. If a student is eligible for both Cal Grant A and B when first awarded, the Commission will award the most beneficial grant, based on the student's listed school of attendance. For example, if the student intends to attend a UC, they will be awarded the Cal Grant A because the UC system always defaults to the Cal Grant A as the initial award if the student is eligible. Those students attending a CSU or community college will typically default to the Cal Grant B. It's important to note that students can only change their Cal Grant type prior to their first payment. They would do so by consulting with their college and then by completing the G10 form. In all cases, the G10 form requires a signature from a school financial aid advisor after consultation. Once an initial payment is reported, the student is locked into that award moving forward. As has always been the case, pass-fail grades that cannot be converted into a letter grade cannot be used for the Cal Grant GPA calculation submitted by high schools. We realize that schools are using pass-fail grading more often than in the past due to the current COVID-19 pandemic, but the Commission has not made any changes to the parameters for GPA uploads and pass-fail grading in connection with Cal Grant calculations. Please contact us if you have any questions about this. Once a student has submitted their financial application, the next step they should take is to create a Web Grants for Students account. This can be completed normally 7 to 10 days after their application was submitted and fully processed. This account enables the student to track their status during the awarding process and check if there are any pending requirements that may hold them from being fully processed. After awarding, they can use this account to complete the high school verification and college of attendance certifications that will need to be complete before their award is released. Please remember that if your student is awarded the Cal Grant, failing to create a Web Grants for Students account and completing a few simple steps can hold up their Cal Grant payment at college. You'll notice that the Web Grants for Students portal has been updated and improved. On the updated Web Grants for Students portal, students now have all their relevant state aid available at a glance. Prior to the system upgrade, students had to navigate through separate links and sites to access different information regarding their award. This is no longer the case, as this information is now accessible on one screen. Aside from the summary and detailed Cal Grant application and award data that is easily accessible on the student landing page, students will now have other updates such as cards that contain summary data, color indicators for application status, to-do list items to be completed, and quick editing of school of attendance. Additionally, panels for Cal Grant, Middle Class Scholarship, and Chafe E-Grant conveniently located on one page. Before we move on, let's just talk about a common question we get regarding the Cal Grant B award at a community college. First, a little background information. The Cal Grant B, unlike the Cal Grant A, except for students with dependent children, can be used at a community college. Students who use their Cal Grant B award at the community college receive the excess portion of the award. Basically, a stipend of $1,658 each year to help cover the cost of books, supplies, parking, or any other expense related to their education. Of course, if they use their Cal Grant B at a community college, they are also using up the corresponding portion of their Cal Grant eligibility. First and foremost, if the student needs the money, they should always take the money. It doesn't make sense for a student to struggle financially when they have the opportunity to use the Access Award to pay for a book, a school fee, or any other related school expense. Students should almost always take the money the first year at a community college. Why? Because most of the time they can use it, and, as importantly, it is unlikely that they will need or be able to use 4 full years of their Cal Grant award when they transfer to a 4-year. Why? 2 reasons. The other reason is that if a student is awarded the Cal Grant B at the community college with an educational level or EL of 1 or freshman but places the award on hold until transfer to the 4-year, the 4-year will be the school to post the first disbursement. Oftentimes this means they will be required to verify education level. It's not uncommon for the 4-year, at this point, to report EL3 or junior. In this, Web Grants will automatically adjust the eligibility down to 2 years, not 4. Now let's move on to a section that we call High Schools, Doing Your Part. Beginning in the 2020-2021 award year, in other words for the high school senior class of 2020, the Commission removed the capability for schools to upload student GPAs using Social Security numbers in Web Grants. GPAs from that point forward had to be submitted without SSNs, using the non-SSN GPA method. Schools should ensure their student information systems such as ARIES, PowerSchool, Illuminate, Infinite Campus have the capability to produce GPA files in text format without SSNs. We suggest that you contact your vendor directly, as we have no expertise in any of these systems. The Commission will offer live webinar training on a continuous basis to assist schools that are new to this process or need a refresher. Please check our training page regularly to view our upcoming webinars. Please avoid using Social Security numbers or other forms of personally identifiable information when contacting the Student Aid Commission via email. The Web Grant system is an important tool you will utilize, even if you don't upload GPAs. In order to use it, you must first gain access to Web Grants by completing 2 forms, the High School System Administrator Access Request Form and the Information Security and Confidentiality Agreement Form. One last form, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid DREAM Act Completion Agreement, allows high schools and districts to receive certain free application for federal student aid and CA DREAM Act application filling status information for their students. Web Grants accounts for high school users are set with a 2-year expiration date, at which point updated forms need to be completed. These forms are available at the California Student Aid Commission's website and must be submitted before access can be gained by your school. Remember, even if you are not the person involved in the GPA upload process, you still should have access to Web Grants in order to check reports, see which students have been awarded the Cal Grant, and assist in the matching process if needed. Even if you don't upload GPAs, there are a number of reasons to have access to the Web Grant system. You will be able to review reports to check the GPA and application status of all of your students during the application season. You will have the ability to make corrections by editing or correcting GPA data to help your students match in the system. You will also be able to force match a student's GPA to their application, allowing it to process through for Cal Grant consideration. Finally, you can add an individual GPA for a student who wasn't part of the original batch upload. If you will be uploading GPAs for the first time, here are the first steps you should take. We are not going to go over all this information in great detail, but please remember we do have training materials on our website, offer live-in pre-recorded webinars and are available by phone or email to assist you. Here's what you need to do to get started. First, check out our training materials offered on our website or register for a live webinar that covers the non-SSN upload process. Next, download non-SSN upload user guide. Then, download non-SSN GPA Excel template. Finally, upload the text file you created. Remember, we have a number of resource and training materials geared specifically toward the GPA uploading process. Please let us know if you need assistance. Traditionally, high schools or districts upload GPAs for their current seniors each year. But there are times when a student will graduate early. Here is how you would handle the GPA upload, or equivalent process, for each academic year. Most of you know that when submitting GPAs for your current seniors you will only use completed coursework from the 10th grade and the 11th grade and any summer school following those two grades. 9th grade coursework is never included, and obviously you won't include any 12th grade coursework because students are still in that academic year. Acceptable GPAs are unweighted and calculated using a 4.0 GPA scale. For those students who have graduated from high school the prior year, or the 1 year out, you will use the 10th grade through 12th grade coursework. Once again, 9th grade year coursework is not included. All other rules are applicable to your 1 year out students. One last note about uploading GPAs for your past year graduates: please make that a separate GPA upload and ensure the graduation date is correctly reflected. Most of your past year graduates don't realize that they need a GPA uploaded the year after they graduate from high school if they didn't get the Cal Grant the year they graduated. Uploading GPAs for your 1 year out students is important because oftentimes including their senior grades will put a student over the 2.0 or 3.0 GPA minimums for the Cal Grant award. We recommend that you upload these GPAs electronically, and that you always upload GPAs for your past graduates in a separate upload. Once again, pay close attention to the graduation date, as putting the wrong grad date is a very common error. For students who have graduated high school the year prior, remember to only use completed coursework from the 10th grade, summer after 10th grade, 11th grade, the summer after the 11th grade, senior year and the summer after senior year. All other rules still apply as with current seniors. Finally, you typically won't need to upload a student's GPA again, as an example, a third time, after you have uploaded it their senior year and the year following graduation. A common error we see is schools uploading their GPAs with incorrect grad dates. Although this may seem like a rather small error, it can negatively impact your students and take weeks to correct. If an error is made, GPAs can be corrected prior to March 2nd. You can correct individual GPAs via the Edit Non-SSN GPA screen in WebGrants. You can also correct an entire by first contacting the Commission to delete the upload. Once this has been completed, you may upload your new batch. To correct GPAs after March 2nd, you will need to contact the Commission regarding late GPA appeal requests. All requests are reviewed and approved by management. Let's review some best practices. If you will be submitting GPAs for last year's grads in addition to your current seniors, make sure you upload those GPAs on completely separate uploads. This makes sense because not only are their GPAs calculated differently because they will include senior year grades, but they will have different graduation dates. Should you discover that GPAs were submitted with incorrect graduation dates, please don't attempt to fix it by uploading a second time. This will only create a duplicate upload and will distort your WebGrants reports. Instead, contact institutional support by phone or email to assist you. As stated previously, a student's GPA is a factor in the Cal Grant awarding process. If a student doesn't have a qualifying GPA either because their school isn't accredited or grades were based on pass-fail, Then students can submit proof of passing a high school equivalency test such as the GED, SAT, ACT, high school equivalency test or test assessing secondary completion. Those test scores are converted to a traditional GPA by the Commission, and the student will be processed for award consideration. Student cannot use test scores in lieu of a GPA. If a student has a GPA, then a student must use their GPA. We can think about the entire process of applying for financial aid as a series of steps. The one obvious component of each step is the student's name and address, and it is critically important in connecting, or matching, one part of the process with the other. We recommend first, to provide your seniors with the name and address the school or district will be using to upload their GPA. This will alert the student to what will be on the GPA upload and allow them to either request a name change at the school, or to use the exact same name on their application if it is correct. This can be done by providing your students with the GPA demographic verification form, which can be accessed via the Commission's webpage, and it's available in the resources section of the Commission's training webpage. Second, contacting us early if you anticipate a matching issue because of a name change, or any other change that would prevent a student from matching. Third, reminding students that one small error with their name or date of birth on their financial aid application, free application for federal student aid or DREAM Act application, may result in weeks of delays in being processed for award consideration. Lastly, reminding students to double-check whatever forms of identification they have before completing a financial aid application. Remember, the college will want their award to be in the same name as their IDs. March 2nd is the hard deadline to submit a GPA for new entitlement students. March 2nd is also the deadline to edit information in WebGrants. Please have students apply as close to October 1st as possible. The high school graduation verification screen is accessed from the GPA menu in WebGrants. This screen is made available the month students graduate, and it only lists your Cal Grant award's. For example, if your students graduate in the middle of June and the screen is made available early June, you can assist your students in verifying their graduation status by selecting from the following options. Students also have the option to do this in WebGrants for students, and we'll show you this in a minute. You will select Graduated for students who graduated receiving a diploma. If you are certain a student did not or will not graduate, you will select Not Graduated. This withdraws their award. The pending option should be marked for students who are still working on meeting HS graduation requirements. For example, they may be attending night classes, summer school, or even attending an adult school program. After the student graduates, this school official must come back to this screen in WebGrants to release the award. The verification of graduation still needs to be completed or the student will be withdrawn. When the pending option is selected, students will receive a message in their WebGrants for Students account letting them know that the self-certification option is not available and to contact the Commission to certify their high school graduation. If the high school does not update the status, students will be required to submit a copy of their high school diploma and the high school graduation certification form. To obtain the form, students can contact student support at 1-888-224-7268 or email school support. You could also use this option for students who are no longer at your school. If the not graduated status was reported in error, the student can appeal to the Commission by providing their HS transcripts or diploma reflecting their HS graduation date. The student has until December 31st of the award year to satisfy high school graduation requirements to retain their Cal Grant award. There are multiple reasons why a student may not receive Cal Grant consideration. Oftentimes it is a result of application issues that have not been resolved. Some application errors will cause the application to not be processed, and therefore will not give these students Cal Grant consideration. Please alert your students to these possible application issues and help them prevent errors at the time of application submission. The best advice starts with making sure that students submit applications for the correct academic year, by a March 2nd deadline. Many errors can be found and corrected just by logging back into the application and checking. If the application continues to have unresolved issues, these are the questions you should ask. Was an on-time GPA received from the high school? Did it match with the student application? Was the application submitted for the correct academic year? Was the correct application, that is a free application for federal student aid or California DREAM Act application, completed? Was the application submitted on time, prior to the March 2nd deadline? Was the application signed by a parent? Was a paper parent signature page required? This can happen when a free application for federal student aid filer's parents are unable to create an FSA ID. Is the student a twin? Are there unresolved errors on the application? And finally, was an EFC, or expected family contribution, generated? Now we are going to move on and talk about application issues that we see each year and some possible solutions. This chart shows common awarding issues and solutions. Almost all of these errors can be corrected by high school web grants users, sometimes with the assistance of the Student Aid Commission, before March 2nd. Any corrections after the March 2nd deadline are handled via the appeal request process and typically require Student Aid Commission management review and approval. It is the high school's responsibility to upload, edit and match GPAs, and verify the HS graduation of students who do not self-certify via their Web Grants for Students portal. The matching editing process can begin 24 hours after GPAs have been uploaded for students who have submitted their free application for federal student aid or California DREAM Act application. The matching process can continue after the March 2nd deadline, through late March. To view GPA reports, you will need Web Grants access. Beginning 2020-2021, Alberta, 2015 requires public high schools and charters to provide instruction on how to complete the free application for federal student aid California DREAM Act application before entering 12th grade. It is important that students going to college have financial aid literacy. Some of the questions students want to understand are: where is my financial aid coming from? What was the application process for each type of aid? What do I have to do to maintain eligibility for the aid I'm receiving? How can I get updated information for each type of financial aid I am receiving? How long will my financial aid last? Some helpful hints are: apply to at least one California college even if you are sure you are going out of state. Apply regardless of income. You should never assume you can't get any aid. Create one email for all applications and use it for college and financial aid applications. Once you start college, you will get an email from the college you can use. Apply early. Remember that students can apply beginning October 1st with either the free application for federal student aid or CA DREAM Act application. Apply as early as you can. Each year, 10 to 20% of students who made an enrollment deposit in the spring melt over the summer, derailed by an onslaught of forms and financial challenges. Courting students over the summer even once they've accepted admission has become common practice. But signs suggest that the season's melt could become a flood. The summer melt, the phenomenon that refers to college-bound high school seniors who fail to matriculate into college. The complex factors that contribute to this trend: absence of school support, confusion over paperwork, lack of parental guidance, and the teenage tendency to procrastinate. This is why it is especially important for high schools to submit GPAs for one-year outs. Confusion over paperwork can be fixed when students engage with one focus at a time. Lack of parental help can be overcome when we connect with parents early and promote virtual events and financial aid workshops. Teenage procrastination, which is a problem in the best of times, can be mitigated through the use of social media and text messaging to check in and answer questions. Lack of on-campus connections is an issue that requires that we connect kids to campus groups early, mentorship programs and organizations that are designed to support students. We realize that none of this is easy, but taking any extra steps may help the students most challenged by this summer melt. Let's talk about an important source of aid for California's undocumented students, or Dreamers: the California DREAM Act. But first, it's important to point out that it is a myth that all undocumented people come from Mexico. As you can see from this graphic, California's undocumented population comes from all parts of the globe. This California DREAM Act application homepage can be found on the Student Aid Commission homepage, or by going directly to the link you see here below the image of the California DREAM Act homepage. Once on the site, Students, their parents and schools can click on the California Dream Act Resources page link where they will find all the resources they may need pertaining to the application and more. New students starting their very first California Dream Act application should click on Start. Returning students who are renewing their application for the new academic year should click Login, and parents who need to request a new PIN or recover their previous 4-digit electronic PIN signature will click on Parent Signature. As of January 1, 2018, California Education Code expanded on some of the requirements under AB 540. To be eligible under AB 540, students must meet 3 requirements. In the first requirement, SB 68 expanded on the equivalency of high school attendance to include adult schools, County Office of Education, Unified School District or High School District, the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, and California Community Colleges. This expansion directly benefits students who do not have a CA high school diploma or GED. For the second requirement, SB 68 expanded the high school graduation requirements to include an earned associate's degree from a CA community college, or by meeting the minimum transfer requirements at a CSU or UC. Lastly, for those with unlawful immigration status, the non-resident tuition exemption waiver declaring that the student has filed or will file an application to legalize their immigration status must be submitted. The affidavit exempts qualifying students from paying non-resident tuition and certifies that students are eligible to apply for Cal Grant under the California Dream Act application. Note: the first update to the California Dream Act application will not include most of these changes as it will be based on the legacy, prior, system. These are the subsequent updates that will be incorporated. Student and parent sections are separated into tabs. No more flip-flopping between student and parent questions. Each section is limited to 1 to 4 questions, no more long lists of questions on a single page. Some questions and sections are more user-friendly, for example, the section where students select their potential colleges is clearer. Simplified design, similar to free application for federal student aid. Easy navigation through application. Auto-save when moving from section to section. Enhanced Ins and Help feature. The application will be more secure, have single sign-on portal for both web grants for students and California Dream Act application, will be mobile-friendly and will be browser-friendly. An area that can be a barrier for students is the selective service requirement. Male students, including Dream Act application filers, between the ages of 18 to 25 must register for selective service in order to receive their financial aid. We sometimes find that students are nervous about registering because they fear their undocumented immigration status will somehow come to light. Selective Service does not share information about a male citizenship status and as stated on their website. Please make your students aware of this and emphasize that it is a requirement for financial aid. Because these students must register by mail, it is critical that they do so as soon as they are approaching their 18th birthday. Students may send in the application when they reach 17 years and 3 months of age. Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals is a federal program which recognizes that there are undocumented immigrants who were brought here as children. Those who apply for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals and meet the eligibility requirements for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals are protected from deportation for 2 years, and they are issued a Social Security card for work purposes only. Beginning in 2021-2022, Cal Grant B recipients who completed the California Dream Act application can be considered for one of 2,500 calories Grant B service incentive grants of up to $3,000 per year. Eligible students must perform at least 100 hours per quarter or 150 hours per semester of community or volunteer service and attend a California public or independent institution. The Commission will administer the program. Check Commission emails for updates. Another new program is the California Dream Loan Program for graduate degree programs. Will go into effect starting in the 2021-2022 academic school year. It is expanding eligibility for the California Dream Loan Program to graduate programs at California State and University of California campuses. It is estimated that 500 graduate students will become eligible to receive loans under this bill, according to the CSU and UC. Immigrants rising, formerly E4FC or Educators for Fair Consideration, is an organization that provides support and resources for our undocumented student population. We highly recommend that you visit their website and sign up for the newly updated 2021 Resource Binder. The Educational Resource Binder is filled with crucial, up-to-date information educators, students and allies can use to increase college access for undocumented students in California. Ensure you have the resources you need at your fingertips to support undocumented students who are pursuing higher education. We would now like to go over some additional updates and resources available to you. We offer online and printed materials for use by schools to pass out during Cash for College, financial aid and back-to-school nights. You can also access it from the main Commission webpage. Another great resource, and one you should all subscribe to, is our listserv. There is a link to subscribe at the bottom of the Commission's homepage at www.exact.gov. Once you subscribe, you will receive operations memos and special alerts in your email to keep you up to date and informed about financial aid programs and operations. This is extremely important because, as you all might know, the world of financial aid keeps changing and there are always new updates. Commission meetings can be followed live but are also recorded so you can watch them anytime. Be sure to check in to be better informed about the changes within the Commission and financial aid across California. Direct from the California Chancellor's Office and created in response to coronavirus as a central location for current and potential students to get the most current information about California community colleges with tips for successful online learning which are updated daily. Contact the California Community Colleges Chancellor's Office for more information by going to startenroll.com. The California Student Opportunity and Access Program, or CalSOAP, is a program funded by the Commission and another great student resource. CalSOAP is an organization that targets schools in particular areas to raise achievement levels of low-income students. They focus on regions with low college participation rates and assist with tutoring, financial aid workshops, and more. This year, CalSOAP will be offering free virtual workshops to help complete the free application for federal student aid, California DREAM Act application or CHAFI applications for foster care. You can learn more about CalSOAP on our website. Travis Credit Union is 209,991 members strong with more than $3.1 billion in assets, serving 12 counties with 24 branches. Travis Credit Union has a commitment and dedication toward building authentic community impact through what we call our awesome cause: financial education, financial literacy and financial advocacy. Please take a look at these financial education programs that can help students and their families become more financially literate and self-sufficient. You can learn more at traviscu.org/esamacause or follow Travis Credit Union on social media. We invite you to follow us on social media for important updates and news from the Commission and our partners. The Race to Submit Dashboard allows high schools, school districts, counties, students, organizations and the public to track schools' financial aid application count and Cal Grant awarding by academic year. The intent of the tool is to encourage teachers, counselors, and other school administrators to reach out to students and guide them through the financial aid application process to ensure timely submission by the March 2 Cal Grant deadline. The dashboard is updated twice per week and displays information by high school, school district, and county. The dashboard displays the following information: free application for federal student aid, California DREAM Act application, submitted and completed. Number of Cal Grant applications, submitted and completed. Number of students eligible for Cal Grants. Number of Cal Grant awards. Schools can compare their numbers against schools within their district, their county, or check where they rank on the leaderboard. The leaderboard is separated into 7 levels depending on a school's graduating class size. Similarly, this data can be downloaded for analysis by clicking on the Export button. It is important to note that the Commission uses prior year certified October senior enrollment counts instead of current enrollment data because the California Department of Education, CDE, doesn't release current enrollment data until April of the following year. Obviously, Senior enrollment counts may differ between the 2 years, and the Commission has requested that CDE provide current senior enrollment data much sooner for purposes of the Race to Submit campaign. Discussions on the possibility of this happening are continuing. For purposes of determining Race to Submit winners, the Commission did obtain March 2nd senior enrollment data to more accurately reflect senior enrollment counts. Scholarships area free money for college. The majority of scholarship applications will consist of an application, a letter of recommendation, usually from a teacher, counselor, coach, community member, etc., academic transcripts, and the occasional interview. Often, the more prestigious or high award scholarships will often have an interview built into the selection process. The California Financial Literacy Portal is a collaborative resources site partnering with contributors from government agencies, banks and credit unions and community organizations. This site promotes news, information, and resources regarding savings, money management, credit, investments, consumer privacy protection, and the avoidance of identity theft, elder financial abuse, scams, and fraud. The California Financial Literacy Portal is a statewide public awareness effort and the perfect opportunity for businesses and organizations to highlight their current financial literacy efforts or become involved in efforts to make financial literacy education a priority. We encourage you to use, share, and contribute to the resources on the site, especially to students and their parents, to learn more about financial literacy. Please go to the website shown on this page for additional information and resources. When We All Vote is a national, nonpartisan, not-for-profit organization that encourages everyone, especially young people, to register and vote. When We All Vote is on a mission to increase participation in every election and close the race and age voting gap by changing the culture around voting, harnessing grassroots energy, and through strategic partnerships to reach every American. If you're interested in learning more, please see additional information about When We All Vote by going to www.whenweallvote.org. We want to thank you for attending this training. We hope the information we've provided today proves to be helpful to you in assisting your students. We know that you make a difference in the lives of your students, and we encourage you to keep up the good work. Together we can change lives and make education financially accessible to all students. If you have additional questions that come up later, we encourage you to contact institutional support by phone or email. Finally, if you are new to web grants or you just need a refresher on uploading GPAs or using reports, we have ongoing, live webinars on a number of those topics. Please check our website or contact us for additional information. Please contact the school support team at the Commission if you need further assistance.